down 80% in 2022? Is Xpeng, XPEV stock a buy for 2023? I'm going to answer that question in this video, so stay tuned. First thing I want to look at is quarterly revenue growth, and of course this Chinese EV company exploded onto the scene and revenue was growing over 600% in one quarter earlier in 2021. That growth has slowed to 12.78% in its most recent quarter, but the company just released December delivery figures that was really strong. Of course, production of EVs has been with fits and starts. Several competitors, they experience booms and busts, and it's difficult to ramp up manufacturing of this kind of new types of vehicles, especially when you have so many competitors all trying to ramp up manufacturing all simultaneously. So you're all fighting with the same kind of to try and secure the same kind of resources, which makes it difficult to get your specific company off and running, right? The good news for EV companies, and specifically Chinese EV companies, is that the market is absolutely massive, the total addressable market, and consumer demand is absolutely robust. Many EV companies have large backlogs of customer orders, so it's just a matter of ramping up supply enough and effectively enough to meet this customer demand. Of course, these companies can hurry up and ramp up production, but it might cost them way more than they would like to, and those won't be profitable sales. And so they're trying to manage this effective, efficient growth in supply to meet this customer demand, and that's the challenge for all of these EV companies. And unfortunately for investors, there's a lot of EV companies right now, and well, I shouldn't say a lot of EV companies. I should say there's a lot of EV manufacturing ramping supply going on right now, and all of that rise in supply is not good news for investors. The next thing I want to look at is operating income. I want to see that the revenue growth is leading to some kind of economies in scale and lessening of operating losses if it is not profitable. And I'm not seeing that for Xpeng. I'm seeing actually as revenue has grown, its operating losses are getting worse. So it's not yet achieving the scale where each incremental growth in revenue is bringing it closer to operating profits. It's still going in the wrong direction. Hopefully, we're seeing some bit of a plateau here in losses and an increase, and hopefully this trend continues. It's a little too early to tell if this is actually an upward trend or if it's a head fake like before here, where it had a couple of good quarters and then down it went again. So pay close attention to this metric going forward if you're interested in Xpeng stock. The next thing I want to look at is cash flow from operations and see, again, I want to see an upward trend here as revenue has grown. I'm not seeing that. Negative and getting worse. Slight uptick here. Still losing 345 million in cash flow from operations. So since it's losing so much cash, the next thing I want to see is how much cash does it have on hand? How long can it go if it's losing money at this rate? And not very long. It's only got 1.6 billion of cash on hand, and if it keeps losing 350 million in every quarter, it's not going to be very long where it needs to raise capital again. So this is another thing that investors should look out for in terms of Xpeng stock. Finally, let's look at its valuation, trading at a price to sales ratio of 1.869. It's the cheapest that it's been going back to January of 2021, even a little bit before then. But of course, a lot of this hyped up valuation in 2020 and 2021 was unjustified in my opinion. It's trading back down to reality, and it's cheaper than its other Chinese counterpart, Li Auto. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't go so far as to say the stock is cheap in itself, but it's cheaper comparably to its competitor. Still, I would caution and I would say, to answer the question if Xpeng stock is a buy for 2023, I'm going to say no, it's not a buy for 2023. The company needs to prove a little bit more before I can recommend the stock as a buy. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.